Iron Man is quite possibly the most iconic hero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and for good reason. Always one to innovate, Iron Man's armors evolved constantly, with him adding new features and capabilities with every iteration. And yes, because he's a little bit of a narcissist, each one of his armors also had to look really cool. Here are the 10 best Iron Man armors from the MCU. This suit most closely resembles that worn by Tony in the Ultimate Iron Man comics, leaning heavily into the silver color scheme mixed with the traditional red and gold. One of the more functional aspects of this armor is that it can be controlled remotely from the other side of the world, which came in handy when Spider-Man nearly needed an assist after almost drowning following a bout with the Vulture. Sometimes you encounter a villain when abroad and you need a set of high-tech armor that you can take through customs. Tony thought ahead with this, creating an Iron Man suit that actually fits in a suitcase. Inspired by the Silver Centurion look from the comics, its compact designs means it's not as durable as some of Iron Man's other armors, but it's still got enough firepower to put down a psychotic Russian with electrical whips. This is the one that started it all. It may not be pretty, it may not be high-tech, and it may not have a great battery life, but gosh dang it, it sure got Tony out of a serious jam. This gray behemoth was powered by the very first arc reactor, and despite its clunkiness, it had more than enough weaponry to blast through some Afghan terrorists and get Tony to safety. That's not bad for a proof of concept built in a cave. The Mark I walked so all the other armors could fly. The Mark II was a massive improvement over its predecessor as it streamlined its overall design and added useful new features such as flight capabilities. Sure, it had an icing problem when it encountered the colder, higher altitude atmosphere. However, the inclusion of a heads-up display added to its usability. Then again, it did need a large special contraption just to put it on, so it still had a few kinks to work out. It's not meant for space travel and it didn't have spinning rims, but the Mark VII was filled to the brim with amazing capabilities. For starters, it didn't need a special machine just to get into it. It was able to lock onto Tony through the use of proprietary bracelets and suit up around him. Plus, it had more firepower than any previous model and was even capable of traveling through the stomach of a Chitauri Leviathan. This Iron Man armor embraces even more gold, probably to remind bystanders even more that Tony's rich. Tony clearly thought the bracelets from the Mark VII were too cumbersome, so he decided to implant trackers into his own forearm for his armor to track. Still, the range on this thing is impressive, flying across multiple states within just a few minutes to get Tony out of a jam. Now, this suit is based on the Hulkbuster armor from the comics. Few things have been able to withstand the power of the Hulk, especially when he's gone berserk, so leave it to Tony Stark to develop a suit that can go toe-to-toe with the Jade Giant, though it endured quite a few blows in the process. This armor was a quantum upgrade to everything that had come before it as it used nanotechnology. It could form around Tony's body in a matter of seconds, has deep space flight capabilities, and could produce all manner of weaponry, including missiles and blades. Its durability was also off the charts. Thanos threw a moon at Iron Man while he was wearing this armor, and he was able to walk away from it mostly unscathed. The Mark III is far from Iron Man's most advanced armor, but this was when he really became Iron Man. It was the first armor to feature his signature red and gold color scheme that's been used in almost all of his armor since, and it came equipped with plenty of firepower, as seen when he returns to Afghanistan to put those pesky terrorists in their place. What it lacks in high-tech gadgets, it more than makes up for its classic hot rod design. And finally, this suit marks the pinnacle of Tony Stark's genius both in design and functionality. It's his most advanced, consisting of nanotechnology that could produce almost every kind of weapon imaginable and was more than capable of holding its own in a massive battle against Thanos' alien army. Fans of the comics will also note that the suit's look harkens back to one from the 1960s, which is a terrific nod to the source material. Iron Man literally died in this armor, and we can't think of a better symbol of all that made him so great. So which Iron Man armor is your favorite? Let us know in the comments, and keep it locked to Comicbook.com for all your MCU news.